Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And tonight is more discovery. And it was going to be quicksand, and somebody suggested a different title. And so I borrowed the title, and it's now Kirkstand. And the reason it's Kirkstand is it is about Smirky Kirky. Now, Smirky Kirky gave up a deposition to the court. And this was done through a remote, uh, kind of like a Zoom thing where they got together and they had uh, the prosecutor and the defense attorney in this conference, and uh, they went ahead and did this uh, deposition. Now, what's interesting about this is what Kirk Pendergrass said in his deposition and what this is going to lead to. Now, we go down, we start off, and this is the person that typed all, or the reporter. And this is where the deposition was taken. And hello, upside down, doing okay. Hi, Rebecca. As we get started here, and as you see, this was taken on February 2nd, 2023. Now, this date's going to be very important as we go on here, and I'll try to explain that as we go forward. And this, doing this with a mouse is kind of a nuisance that can't control the speed. But what we have here is, in case you didn't see it, whoop, get back here. This is showing where it was taken and so on and so forth. This is a service that does all these remote um, depositions for courts throughout the country. They have offices all over the country. They're one of the largest firms. And so from the state attorney's office, we had Amy Burnt and Toby Hunt, assistant state attorneys, and this is where they're from and everything. And Jack Morrow is the defense attorney for NEELY BLANCHARD. And the prosecutor did the examination, as did Mr. Morrow. And let me move this over just a hair, because these page references are going to be important. I'll be coming down. I want you to pay close attention to this line. First, duly sworn to tell the truth relating to said cause testified as follows. This means that Mr. Pendergrass is under oath. Now, this is going to become very, very important as we go through this. And we start off with the state attorney asking the general questions of Mr. Pendergrass, who he is, when he was born, all this stuff, and residence here. And we get into his criminal record. and asked did he get arrested and so forth. And whoop, let me get back up there. This thing jumps, so I may have to adjust this from time to time. It's just, it's an over responsive mouse. Because if I hit the down arrow, it changes pages instead of going by line by line. I don't know why it does that. And okay, he goes down here. And he brags about the fact that he's got quite an arrest record, which is typical Kirky smirky, smirky Kirky. And he's got all these 40 to 50 arrests as an adult. Get them. I got socks trying to make an appearance. Let's see, 10 or 15 times, mostly traffic stuff, driving without privileges. So he's not a very safe driver, apparently. No violent crimes. Drug possession. Drug is a drug. Methamphetamine. So I wonder if that means he's a meth head. That's a good question, John. I don't know if he was ever a Marine or not. I don't know what driving without privileges is. This has to do with driver's license. And we get into he had the plea bargain, Idaho, where he lives and all that. And so basically, now the interesting thing here is to check against his actual record. But that isn't. No charges in federal court, at least not yet. And he's, but it was a dirt bike, not having a sticker off road, federal land. So he's a scofflaw. You can't buy a $5 sticker for his dirt bike. And what kind of business do you own? And here we get into KIRK Law Corner, for-profit business providing education, news, and other services. One of the other services I provide is a notary public. What is your background educationally? High school equivalency. Went to school for A+ hardware, software, never placed an advanced server. Did you hear of that? Went to electrical school, third year apprentice electrician until the economy took a crap there. 2008, nobody could find a job. So that's the extent of your education. Never went to law school. Here he is, Kirk's Law, and he's never been to law school. How long have you been running this business? 2.5, 3 years. So, that means that he's been doing Kirk's Law for 2.5, 3 years. And he's on this show like he's a law professor. He was a mechanic. And he actually should go back to being an auto mechanic. And we get into marriage. And he has children. 2, technically speaking. Well, it is claimed I have a third one, but never been proved. So him and Timmy have something in common. They have 3 kids out of wedlock. And so the mothers of the kids, uh, and now we're getting into the meat of the matter. So let us start with Blank. Now, this is Hallett. Um, because he's a victim in a crime, they blot out his name. This has been the practice through all of the discovery that I've gotten at up to this point. Okay. And so we move on. And we get into how we met Chris Hallett. And the nice thing here is that we get to see a lot of specific history here, if he's telling the truth, that is. So everything seems to have started around 2017. We have Chris Hallett and Kirk Pendergrass getting together, and I had been doing a podcast called Law for Dummies. One of the callers would call in, there inform me about Chris Hallett. So she gave me a link to his Facebook. And I found him through Facebook. And it goes on, whoever Ted Fogg is, but he apparently was, uh, hello, Catherine. I'm going through Kirk Pendergrass' sworn testimony that he gave on the 3rd of February of this year. Shortly after that, I invited Hallett to be a co-host. After the 3rd video, I invited him on as a co-host. Was he a regular on your post as a co-host? Yes. And it goes on a little bit with the history of that. And eventually turned into doing 3 nights a week from roughly September up until Chris was, and this is probably where he said he was murdered. Okay, page 11. So from September 2017 up to 20, you and Chris Hallett would co-host a podcast 3 times a week. Yes. Who was the woman that called you and said, hey, I know this guy, Chris Hallett. I think you guys have a lot of common interest. Who was that person? Crystal Bills Maestrom out of Utah. Now, I don't remember I don't think I've heard of this woman. So if somebody could enlighten me at some future date. What sort of things did she think that you and Chris Hallett had in common? Just the history of law and practice of law, teaching people about the Constitution and so on and so forth, and dealing with the bar and discovering that the bar is unlawfully created. So he managed to get his dipshit theories into this. And we get into the annulments clause and all this other horse crap. And apparently they were both of the same page on that. And getting into Trump's order. And that, this is the kind of weird stuff that they were doing. And Kirk is claiming that you cannot license to practice law. I wonder where he came up with this. But, all these people believe in this nonsense. And that's what led to why we're here today. But this is basically, and this is, this is all wrong. It's just, okay, what is your involvement with E-Clause? I was an agent of E-Clause after Chris, and I had already been working together with, blah, blah, blah. And so we're going through the history here. And as typical, he whines about being unlawfully convicted and all this crap. And they were basically business friends and not really friends. And towards the end, right before Chris was murdered, you and Chris were still on friendly professional terms. There were some issues that were going on. Oh, do we remember these issues? And this is what led to finding out about the witness living there. And it gets into what issues were you talking about before he got killed. And not responding to text messages, not answering the phone. And so he said someone was deleting messages off his phone. And I assumed you're blaming her for that. And so he is blaming the witness for deleting Chris Hallett's text. And he says that he was not making money from E-Clause. He was probably making it from his law corner. And more details about the business. And now we're getting into his association with Neely Blanchard. And so they're saying how Neely Blanchard came into the picture, wanted somebody with a woman's point of view, and she had been on one of the live streams. More history here. And, her back history about the Kentucky situation and other states came out at this point. We're all these people that have had problems with the law and with various government agencies were coming together. And this is true of the cult over on Telegram. Every single solitary person has had bad luck with the courts. Getting no more of his crap. It's interesting thing here. This is a rare situation where the kids are not given to strangers, put in foster care, kidnapped, or any of that. They're given to a blood relative. In this case, the children's grandmother, and she had supervised visitation. And so, why she would wreck this the way she did is beyond me. Yeah, she destroyed a perfectly good situation, but it is what it is. Now I got the hiccups. Here he goes claiming that he knows everything about the law. You know, more of his theories on the law. And he gets into, rather than answering the question, he goes off on a tangent and arguing his point like he's a lawyer. And see that now they had to stop him because he was running on. And beginning of 2018, you told Chris Hallett about Neely, and maybe he could help her with her child custody issues. And so far as you know, they began talking, and he was helping her with issues with the children. And he says yes. You were never involved in that other than the time you went to Pensacola and you met with Neely and looked through all the documents she had. Yes. Okay. And were you ever in a sexual relationship with Neely? Nope. Only met her once. And actually, there twice. And this is another interesting thing. On her way, I can't remember where she was heading. Maybe it was Tennessee or something. But she stopped and stayed at my place for one night. No hanky hanky. No pinkety hankety hankety pinkety. Just a lot of couch time. And we have the name John Gentry coming into the picture. And this is 2018, 5 years ago. and they did a lot of zooming after the show and stuff like this. You know, more or less somewhat professional and all that, according to him anyway. Said he met the husband. Okay, now we're getting into Ronald Knowles or Paul Knowles, Ronnie Poles. And it's kind of an interesting little story about this Tony Pellegrino, whoever the hell that is. And this is where we learned that Neely was having an affair with Ronnie Knowles. Adultery. And so Tim Holmseth and his people over on Telegram are defending a woman that has committed adultery. And I thought they were against this sort of thing. Or at least that troll that keeps coming into here and disrupting. And Neely was 5 months pregnant with another man's baby, according to Kirk Pendergrass. And now we get that he admits that he talked to Neely since she's been in the Marion County Jail. And this has to do with the, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. This has to do with the calls that I played of them talking in jail. Now, there's been a lot of phone calls, apparently. I only got 4 of them because I believe the state has sealed some of these calls for some reason. I'm working on getting all of these, so I'll keep everybody informed. And for some reason, they didn't redact his phone. Now, this is interesting. Now, if you guys go back and listen to these phone calls, this might be the first perjury right here because they were, he was talking to her about her case. And so I don't know. This is a gray area. and we're getting into him. Oh, the bullshit artist is back. Yeah. Well, Task Turd, we're gonna ignore you because I got real life stuff to do. I can't be bothered with you tonight. Uh, and so we're getting into whether or not uh, he was going to be a witness for Neely. And they got into a discussion about their relation with Chris Hallett and some other things going on with Chris Hallett. And then he goes into MKU Ultra, which is this dipshit MK Ultra, and she was under MK Ultra, and people are involved in behind the scenes that have made threats on my life, made threats on Chris Ellis' life, and they are not shy about it. It's in their own videos and chats. Well, I haven't seen any evidence of this, so this is getting into what might be perjury. And do you believe Neely was under it? I do. And who did that to her? I believe Ronnie or Paul Knowles may have been involved. So he's accusing Ronnie Knowles of being involved with this thing. And now here's where we get into perjury. Now he is accusing Kim Picasio, Alex Goddard, and Miko Hayes. This is each one of these is a count of perjury. And this is what I have been discussing with the Marion County State Attorney. And we go down here and he starts, and we go down here and the other people that are part of the crew, Montegraph, Agent 19, me, Levi Page, all these people seem to congregate together on these live videos. And they like to dox people, and they like to make disparaging comments, libel, and slander. Well, guess what? Smirky Kirky just did it here. This is perjury. Now, I challenge KIRK Pendergrass to prove this, to come up with evidence under the law where he can prove this. You know, because now he has made this statement under oath in a murder case. This is obstruction of justice and it's slander. And there's several crimes tied up in this one statement alone. One having to do with the fact that he's interfering with the law practice of a licensed attorney and abuse of the elderly since I'm 72 years old, and so forth. And so I've got an appointment with the 9th District State Attorney, since this is where I live, to file charges against Kirk Pendergrass based on this statement. And so we move on. Okay, uh, this is clearly false. If you guys remember from my um, segment on the um, live stream I did the other night, it's clear proof that Kirk Pendergrass talked to Neely Blanchard after the murder of Chris Hallett. Okay, and Jamie Grubbs comes out, who claims to be uh, a United States Marshal. And Jamie Grubbs, if that individual is making that claim, does not know anything about how the U.S. Marshal system works, which I went into on my last live stream. And then now Katie Watson is the woman that she talked to the night of the murder and shortly after. This is the woman that had the spy pen. And Neely had asked her to put her message on the internet, and as far as I can tell, she did not do that. I have not been able to find anything in relation to that on any social media that I know of that Kathy Watson has. If anybody knows where that is, let me know. And let me go back up because I want to see that one part. Okay, Neely was frantic and claiming that she had all this evidence that Chris was involved in child pedophilia, that he was getting paid, and that he was the one keeping her kids away from her, from Neely. Now remember, this is what Neely told Kathy Watson, and this is the allegation that was made to explain why Neely Blanchard murdered Chris Hallett. Kirk Pendergrass, under oath, as testifying that someone had heard from Neely Blanchard and that Chris Hallett was alleged to be involved in child pedophilia, that he was getting paid, and that he is the one keeping her kids from her, from Neely. This establishes motive right here. And of course, he can't believe that. Oh, darn it. This thing keeps jumping. Sorry about that, folks, but if I hold on too long on my mouse, the thing jumps. So I gotta learn not to be so fast on the draw here. Okay, now Tony seems to be uh, aware of this information as well. So he can't. So you're basing your theory that she was under this mind control based on a meeting that you, Jamie Grubbs, and Tony, a Zoom meeting all you had after she murdered Chris Hallett. Okay, and now we're getting Eager Beaver involved in this. Another witness. So maybe Eager Beaver will get the privilege of having one of these things. He used to do the field report broadcast on YouTube. So now Field McConnell's name is coming into this. So your proof she was under the control of MK Ultra is based on, you said it was based on her actions after the murder. So he has no proof. None. Uh, oh, geez. Somebody's been into the. Are you on meth task force? Okay. So he's saying that uh, Neely was hypnotized or something weird. Yeah, it's basically it's all theory, no evidence, as he likes to say. I have an extremely high mechanical aptitude. Yeah, you know how to fix cars. You don't know shit about the law. You don't know shit about much of anything. So it was the end of September or the end of October is the last time he talked to Neely before the murder. And this is where Chris Hallett apparently fed her a bunch of BS. So this is Kirk Pendergrass verified that. 32. Let me check something here. I gotta keep an eye out. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay. Now, yeah, we cracked the building code, all right. Okay, now this is interesting. There were definitely some times when issues would come up with her kids and she'd find out that one was from a different father, and that father was Mackenzie. Now that number's come up lately, so I'll get name has come up lately, and claims that there is sexual abuse. And he starts going off on a tangent again. Oops, get back over there. I didn't say you could move. And let's see. Starts misquoting the law again. Uh, yeah, he's gotten charges. I just. Okay, now this is very important. The leading question starting at 9:10. So basically, she had a good relationship with Chris Hallett as far as you knew. Yes, absolutely. Now, starting with line 14. And during the 3 weeks, you talked to her about 3 weeks before Hallett was murdered. She seemed excited and fine. Absolutely. And the relationship between Neely and Chris Hallett was just friendship. It was never an intimate relationship as far as you knew. Yeah, no. Chris said that he felt like she was his daughter, you know, treated her like his daughter. Now, the reason this is important is that there is no sanity, there's no heat of passion, which would be murder too, since they had no romantic relationship. Kirk Pendergrass just sealed the deal for the prosecution on first degree premeditated murder. If you notice, she could care less about him talking about loss prevention. This is from the phone calls. E clause, Kirk's Law Corner, the definition of domestic violence, or the law according to Kirk the felon. She could give a fuck and didn't ask follow ups to his long winded versions of what he thinks the law is or should be. She literally could care less about this guy fucked up or sock knob beliefs. She went right for the legal standards she had to prove first degree murder and to defense against a NGRI defense, which is an insanity plea. And Kirk, the arrogant dummy, came through like a toy monkey clanging his cymbals. Hence my introduction. He just gave the prosecution their case on a silver platter. Smooth move, XX. And when did you meet her and when were the circumstances? Now, this is talking about the victim. She was one of our followers. She came in to the Zoom meetings and so on. Met her through Zoom. She lived in Michigan at the time, and I was out in there in Minnesota in 2019 working on Timothy Charles Homestead cases. I did a law seminar there. We did have a one-time sexual relation there. And you know, the weird comment, all this off the wall stuff that she comments that she was making me into kind of freaked me out. Now, this is getting into the love triangles that were going on and how he has admitted that he's had sex with the witness murder or the murder witness of this crime. So he had sex with her. And they go into all this stuff. Boy, task force is really giving us evidence tonight. Yeah, I wonder why nobody over on Telegram supports her. All right, cut it out. There we go. Things jumping again. So, and it's interesting that that they are getting into Kirk's personal relationships with this woman. She's trying, or he is trying to impeach the witness here, even though he's already been impeached. He's making himself the center of attention here. This is very stupid thing for him to be doing. And he's trying to distance himself from the witness. Whoops. Getting into apparently Chris tried to talk him into bringing her back on, which he did, and then he turned around and booted her off again. this is an interesting. Hi, Sarah. Oh, I stole your suggestion, by the way. Uh, but the prosecution is trying to establish that um, oh, darn it. Sorry, guys. Damn it. Sorry about that. This thing is. Let me get. The mouse is giving me problems. All right. Sorry about that, guys. This mouse is overreactive. Oh, now this. He's saying that Chris Hallett and the witness were getting romantically involved. Bros before hoes. I like that. He's playing himself off as the innocent angel here. Yeah, the only thing I could think of in all this is he's trying to get back at her uh, because he thinks that she broke up uh, Chris Hallett and him. And so, not a very smart thing to be doing. Okay, this is important here. 2 weeks before the murder, everything was fine. You talked to Neely the beginning of November. Everything was fine with her. So when you found out that Chris had been murdered, were you surprised? Absolutely. Now, this gets into, again, murder two, crime of passion, or a romance. There's neither one of these. So this was a deliberate, premeditated murder one against Chris Hallett. So once again, Pendergrass is making things worse for Neely Blanchard. Oh, and QAnon gets brought up. Now, he apparently is not uh, into QAnon. And so neither Kirk nor Chris Hallett were with QAnon, so they say. Okay, now the prosecution is finished, and now comes the defense attorney. And he starts talking about the two businesses. Well, yeah, I'm a little surprised that the defense attorney was asking this, but I think he was driving at uh, crime of passion. Yeah, everybody wants to become a U.S. Marshal. Yeah, these people do not have a clue as to what U.S. Marshals are and how they work. And it's deputy U.S. Marshal, not U.S. Marshal. Kirky Smirky, do your research. Now, I'm going to go down here a little ways. And they're going through a long explanation of um, the way he could correct any mistake. Now, here, once again, he is swearing that what he has said under oath is true. And as I explained earlier, Mr. Pendergast has committed perjury. And this is being pursued, and it is going to be up to the state of Florida how they want to handle it. Yeah, they followed Q, and I know about the video. I mean, this is perjury, and the state has the evidence that they were following Q. So Kirk uh, basically hung himself with this testimony. Now, this is the options with the state. Option number one, they can charge him with perjury. Option number two, he can be ruled as a hostile witness because he is defending the defendant in the case, which you do not do as a witness. You remain neutral. He is clearly biased towards the witness. So the yeah, Tien, I'll send me your email address. I can send you my file. Uh, but anyway, he can be rendered a hostile witness by either the defense or the prosecution, and they can ask leading questions. And this, if it's done by the prosecution, it's going to severely wreck the defense's case. And they can, the third option is they can impeach the witness, which means that even though they don't charge him with perjury, they can show by outside evidence, such as the phone calls that I put up the other night and other evidence that the state has, and his testimony would be worthless. Um, and this, he is deliberately trying to impeach the witness to Neely's murder. And you cannot do that. Enough of that shit. Um, and so, Smirky Kirky went through and basically committed perjury in this whole deposition. And that's going to come back to bite him. So, that's where we stand on this little jewel. Um, and it's getting to be where all I have to do is ignore task force and just let it rant. I get the uh, evidence I need to turn over to the proper people, and let's see what we got here. We got a Jeff. Now, there has been a Telegram channel that was created, and the it's called the BREB basket on Telegram, and it has 3,179 members. And this is Timothy Charles Homestead. And when I found out about it, I checked with a number of people who know Tim Homestead, and they claim it is him. These are people that have known Tim Homestead for a long time, and they don't support him, but they know about the channel. And so somebody has come back on the fake truth channel and said, no, that's not me, it's fake. Well, how are you going to prove it's fake? See, this is a problem for Homestead. He has not been on the air live in 3 years. All he has are these two competing channels. Now, the one channel he claims is the real one, and the other channel he claims is the fake one. Who's fake? Who's real? Remember, IBT said time and time and time and time again that it is easy to impersonate someone on the internet. I made that argument for years. And that this trying to think, this task force is fake. IBT has stated a dozen times that task force is fake. Over on BitChute, they have stated that the task force that comes in here is fake, that it is an impersonator. Now, they can speculate that Tim Homestead is under witness protection. He's not. For this, Tim Homestead, if he was under witness protection, he would completely disappear. He would not be out there at all. That's how witness protection works. You get obliterated. You get new identification, new car, everything is new. Your past is gone. They put you in a new location. They may even put you in a job, which that alone, putting him in a job, that would eliminate him being in witness protection because he doesn't work. He doesn't like to work. He just wants to sit in a chair, eat popcorn, and collect money. And, so this witness protection is garbage. Now, what is going on is Tim Holmseth is being controlled. He is a straw man, a prop, a useful idiot. He is being watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He cannot go anywhere alone. He's always accompanied. And they do not allow him to be free. Now, if they find about this new channel and it turns out to be Tim Holmseth, they are going to try and take that channel down because they do not want Tim Holmseth on his own. If that is Tim Holmseth running that new channel, he may have signed his death warrant. Or he's going to get punished in another way because they have told him, do not go on the internet. Let us do it for you. And this is an indication that Tim Holmseth is getting out of control. And they are going to have to deal with him because they do not want the truth to come out. They don't want people finding out that Tim Holmseth has been controlled, that he does not have any freedom, and so on and so forth. And another thing, I have heard that family of Chris Hallett is not happy. They don't like the idea that the woman that they believe murdered Chris Hallett might get off the hook because of a bunch of conspiracy theorists that are barging into the case and making it difficult for the prosecutors to do their job. That it's Tim Holmseth's cult that is poisoning the jury. So there may be actions that will be undertaken by the family to put a stop to all this. Maybe restraining orders, maybe other things to see if they can't do something about the disparaging of the family with this group trying to get Neely Blanchard off the hook. I would think if one of their family members knew that somebody had done harm to the family, got off because of somebody sticking their nose into their business, they would not be happy. But this is what they are doing to the Hallett family. They are barging in to this case. These people want closure. They want to know when the jury comes back whether or not Neely Blanchard is guilty of Chris Hallett's murder. And if it turns out that they cannot have the confidence that the jury made the right decision because of all this outside interference from Tim Holmseth, they are not going to be happy. Now, on my side of the fence, I have always stated, I believe in innocent until proven guilty. Now, all the speculation that I do on this show with you guys is just that. We cannot adjudicate guilt. That has to come in a court of law. A jury will do the adjudication. But you don't sit there and go out and declare the woman innocent in the manner they're doing either. They don't say, well, she was a victim of this conspiracy theory psyop and all this, because that's doing exactly what they are accusing me of. They are adjudicating this woman innocent before she even goes to trial. You know, and again, at the end of the day, she will be found not guilty, not innocent, but she will be found not guilty. There's a difference, because if they wanted to, the family could take her to court and sue her for wrongful death, and then the adjudication would be based on the preponderance of the evidence, which is a fairly low standard when it comes to adjudication. So there is that. But, you know, we're going to have to see how this stuff works out. And we're up to 30 people today. This is a bit of a surprise. You know, all the extra people that are in here, thank you for coming in. Now, right now, I don't know what I'm going to be doing from here on out. I pretty well hit most of the current uh, discovery. So I may be changing subjects slightly and getting into a couple different things. I may do a different video to explain what is wrong with the Pendergrass testimony and how things compare between what he said in the deposition and compare it to what he said in his conversations with Neely up until February 14th. Now, he did his deposition on the 3rd of February. The last time he talked to her in this current discovery is on the 14th of February. So what happened after February? Why hasn't there been any calls released up until the current day? And could it be that the defense lawyer told Neely to quit talking to him? Told Neely to quit talking to Kirk Pendergrass? We won't know because that's attorney-client. And he can't find that information out. But now we're in a situation where we have no discovery coming out. Let me check. Now, I think I checked Friday, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and check again to see if there's any discovery. The Marie, I'm going to have to go through. There's some there's different things. I'm trying to find out if I'm going to be able to get access to the deposition that was given by the witness to the murder and her daughter. I may have it already in older discovery, but I'm going to have to go back through that. And I'm going to start getting discovery out of the state of Kentucky to get into the background of what led up and to all this and how Neely got involved with this stuff. But let me see. I'm going to Marion County one more time. All right, that didn't work. All right, the system is down, so I'm not going to be able to. But there there are some articles that were written at the time of the murder. There are certain statements. I've got to find out about the gun. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go into um, because as you remember, there was a statement made by the witnesses about the gun jamming. And I wanted to check on something real quick. Okay, this is what I wanted to check. The gun was identified that the husband had in the car as a Uzi 9mm. Now, if you remember, uh, in the tape that was made by the uh, body camera of the deputy, he stated he had an Uzi 9mm in his car. And the witness said the gun had jammed. And there is a forum set up as to why does the Uzi jam up. And apparently going way back to 2014, this particular gun has a habit of jamming up. And people have discussed this, including gunsmithing companies and so forth, about this tendency of the Uzi to jam up. Now, I'm quite familiar with Glocks for an obvious reason, and as far as I know, these things do not jam up. I haven't had a Glock jam up on me, so when I read uh, the first account of this, where they said that the gun had jammed, I thought it was a revolver, but it turned out to be an Uzi 9mm, and so that throws that whole thing out the window because now we're talking a semi-automatic pistol instead of a revolver, and we're talking about an Uzi, which, according to people that I've talked to, including down at my local gun range, they state that Uzis jam all the time. They have a tendency to get married, or they have a tendency to get sand and stuff in them, and the way the ammunition loads into them, the tolerances aren't there like there is in a Glock. Did Timmy and Randy get married yet? I have no idea. I haven't heard anything from Randy at all, and your guess is as good as mine if they got married. Hard to tell. It's because Timmy is so tightly under control. I don't think he can do anything except eat popcorn in front of a 60-inch TV. Okay. All right. I'm just checking messages and stuff because my phones are burning up with private messages. Uh, but yeesh, it's gonna take me all night to go through this. But let me check one more thing here. Nope. Interesting. Uh, but their problems are going to build up. And I think one of the problems here is I think people are starting to realize that are on the fringes of this group that Timmy's full of crap. And they're starting to run away. Now, in case anybody's in here that has any doubts about Tim Homeseth, don't advertise that you're leaving, whatever you do. And all you need to look is at how Butterfly Mama's being treated because she publicly left the Tim camp. They are crucifying her simply because she has a mind of her own and she decided to leave the group. And they have threatened revenge porn on her. And this is from the proven to be legitimate IBT. Now, that's a felony. You know, you don't do that. Butterfly is in the process of filing the paperwork. She's declared that she is going to file charges against the individuals that are making that threat. And so some people might want to lawyer up. Now, I'm not in communication with Butterfly, so I don't know. And just to touch on Field McConnell, because these people are making false accusations, which is pissing Field McConnell off. And these people are walking into their own quicksand because Field McConnell is going to deal with this on his terms. Now, he's getting healthier by the day from what I'm getting from Paula in her broadcast. And he is soon going to go on the air and he's going to blow this whole situation up. And so there will be a day of reckoning. Now, he used to do this, but they got through to him, says if you go on the air using Wi-Fi off a restaurant, the deep state can track you down and they will assassinate you. So they scared him out of going on Wi-Fi. So that's out. Which is why I don't understand why people think that Tim Homeseth having a True Social account is legitimate, because he has been convinced by the people that control him that if he goes online, the deep state will track him down and assassinate him. This Tim Homeseth knows absolutely nothing about technology. None of these people do. Because they sit there and they talk about 5G like they know what it means, and they've got it completely wrong. You know, this 5G stuff that goes on around there is a big hoax. But you can't convince idiots. I mean, over in the UK, they were burning 5G towers because the people over there were getting drunk in pubs and they go out and they burn up towers. Now, that's come to a screeching halt. Right now, at some point, every single one of us are on 5G because it's a system both in smartphone and cell phone technology and also in the main internet. It means fifth generations. And so, um, I laugh at these people at their ignorance because, I know things they don't know. And believe me, when it comes to telecommunications, you're not going to fool me with all these hoaxes. And it just makes me laugh at what people believe on the internet. So, but all they use these acronyms, don't understand what they mean, and they talk about a technology that does not exist. We can't clone people, and you sure as hell cannot make diamonds from babies. I That last one, when I heard it, I goes, where in hell did people get their education? They don't understand the process for making a diamond. You cannot make a natural diamond out of babies. It's impossible. We as a living organism is 90% water. You can't melt water. You can evaporate it, but you can't melt it. And so you're not going to have anything left. And it takes to make a diamond out of a living organism takes millions of years. That's why they're so damn expensive, because they're rare. So it's just when you see stupid stuff like that these people put out there, you got to wonder, are these people on drugs or what? But, hey, I digress. At least we get to have a laugh or two from these people. So, holy shit, where are all these people coming from? I think we've got a record in here. Who is this person? Getting another message. I have a feeling my troll is back. Nope, I don't know where that came from. Human ashes turned into diamonds. No, 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 no. You said melting babies, not ashes. Totally different deal. So let's look at this. Now, these are considered artificial diamonds. But again, you're talking about human ashes, not melting babies. Big difference. But still, these things would be recorded as artificial diamonds. Oh, Glenna is really putting things in there tonight. The accusation that's being made is that I wonder where the hell this person is. But this is interesting because it's coming on my message as Glenna McClure, but it's being posted over on Infiltrated by Truth. That's rather interesting. But the accusation is that people are taking babies' hair and making diamonds, or they're melting babies, not cremating babies, melting. Big difference. But, yep, it's my troll is back. Yep, you changed your name, but you didn't. This. This troll is taking pictures of underwear again. Yeah. This troll comes in here every night. Never fails. But, I guess. But this is a surprise. I wonder where all these people are coming from. I rarely get this number. I appreciate you people showing up wherever you're coming from. Um, but we are going to be getting into covering this trial as time goes on. And I got sidetracked. Let me see if they've cleared their system up yet. Because every once in a while this happens with Marion County, and it's due to maintenance issues, I believe. So let me go in here once again. Chrome. Yeah, they're down. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm, probably 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to call it a night. Um, yeah, Marie, I'm getting to a point where I'm going to start completely ignoring these people and banning them outright because it's just they they don't contribute at all to the channel, and it's better just to disappear the people or stuff like that. What they do is they add to the viewing of the channel because when they come in, it affects my analytics on the channel. Whew. Don't ever mix Pepsi and Sloppy Joe's. You'll be burping the rest of the night because that's what's coming up here. Preach, Mert. Yeah. Jesse's making a fortune off of this preaching stuff and some of the stupid stuff. Oh, here we go. Why don't you report on this? Why should I? He has a right to do a GoFundMe. Hell, Timmy's got 6 of them. And got this troll complaining about this guy who's been in a hospital and they're trying to get GoFundMe money to help him out, which is a legitimate reason for it. But this troll has her panties in a wad over it. And so she's saying that why don't I report on it? Well, because that's not the topic that I report on. I deal with internet frauds and cases that are of interest, especially those in the state of Florida. Now, the one thing I will be doing fairly soon here is I'm going to check into the case that this attorney is going to excuse himself for the next few weeks. that is being handled over in Tampa. He's going to be trying this case before the Neely Blanchard trial, and so he wants to be excused from court, and so that's what I'll be watching for. Well, there. Yeah, it is what it is, Spox. What can I say? Yeah, I gotta find out what happened to your wrench. Because I'm gonna read up on what I need to do because I think I need to do it. Because if I hit your profile, all it does is it brings me up on. Um, and let's see what I do. Nope, that just brings me into here. That's not going to do any good. I don't know. I got to figure out how to do that because I had you as a wrench when I started up, and all of a sudden it disappeared. So I don't want to screw around with this, or I'm going to knock everything into a. Well, the thing of it is they are claiming that people are taking live children, melting them, and making diamonds out of them, and that you can't do. You'd have to cremate them. You know, So and oh, I'm going to play around with a troll here. Weird. Well, that's all they do, but they don't prove anything. They put up a video of adults getting cremated and getting made into diamonds, but they're saying that it's being done with babies and that they're melting babies. You can't melt a human being. You can cremate them, dissolve them in acid, but you can't melt them. And this is where they get it wrong. And well, it's really not. But you know, trolling people on a YouTube channel, making someone out as if they're a gangster or a member of the Finders, or accusing somebody of murdering teenagers in another state. That's not stopping predators or pedophiles. That's gaslighting somebody. And the PPTF is a fraud. It's fake. It's something made up to scam people out of money. This individual over on Telegram, why don't they talk about the 6, 7 different donation scams that Tim Holmseth is talking about? They're talking about, a guy getting donations for medical expenses. The guy is in the hospital. You have any idea how expensive it is to get medical attention? People are going bankrupt because of the healthcare system we have in this country. Yeah, I like sloppy joes, but they made me burp because I've been drinking Pepsi and it's been interacting with them. But this is stupid stuff that this troll talks about, and the troll comes back using different names. It goes away and it comes back again. This is the same troll that wanted me to quit talking about home theft, and they would pay me $1,000 an episode if I did that. Well, she wants me to put up the GoFundMe for Jeremiah. Uh, and again, the only reason that she's squawking about this is because um, of Kim Pacazio. The guy has found a woman, he's married to the woman, and this troll that is SALULITA McDeep, or however you pronounce that shit, uh, has a burr up her ass about Kim Pacazio. This woman has been stalking Kim Pacazio since 2009, and probably even before that. And so she comes in, and every time I go on the air, she comes in and puts up these stupid messages like I'm supposed to do as she tells me to do. She does not have a life. And oh yeah, this whole thing has been about Kim from the beginning. It's always been about Kim. Uh, Everybody knows about the affair, you dipshit. That was years ago. She's back with her husband. Everything's fine. Why don't you go and get a hobby or something? You have your panties up your wad about Kim Pacazio. That's all you do. You eat, sleep, and drink Kim Pacazio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you eat, sleep, and dream about Levi 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go get a psychiatrist or a psychology and get your shit together, for God's sake. You are extremely mentally ill. You belong in an institution. You need to have your head filled with Prozac. You support affairs. I don't care. I mean, you support Donald Trump, right? And look at these women over on the who was it, Bobart or somebody that she's divorcing her husband because she had an affair and is still having an affair. Why do you care? I think I just said it. Your main targets are Kim Pacazio and Levi Page. You have this infatuation with these two. You've had it with the 30 different names that you use when you come in here. We go through this every time you change your username over on Telegram. Why can't you keep the same name. I know it's you every time. I don't get it. Why do you have to keep changing your name? Because now you're this Saluda McDeep. What's going to be your next name? And you know I take screenshots of everything you do. You know, I've got an automatic, there. You don't have good sleuthing abilities. What you're doing is you're going into people's social media. Any amateur can do that. But this is what I have to put up with. This is her down here. And she says, oh, give her credit. She's got good sleuthing abilities. She's an expert stalker, is what she is. I mean, this has been going on for 14 years. I mean, my God. Can you imagine somebody hunting around to find out what kind of underwear that you wear for 14 years? That is one sick puppy. Here we go. But yeah, this is my entertainment, folks. Is this moron? Oh, oh, she's typing. She deletes her posts. But I already took a screenshot of it. She told me that I don't have permission to take pictures of her post. But thing of it is when you post to me, the post becomes my property because it's on my account. Shouldn't, apparently shouldn't. No, it's on Telegram, Fox. And it's in private message. In order to read these, you would have to get her to send you private messages. And she keeps this up for a little while and then she deletes the account because she knows that if she keeps the account up, I can report it to Telegram and they'll suspend her account. So she takes it down so I can't do that. And we're up to number 31 on the name list. I found the underwear photos. I found the partying pictures. I found the other affair and all this other stuff. This has been going on for 14 years, and she seems to think that she should be given a medal for this. All she's doing is giving evidence of stalking, that she can go around and she can poke into people's business. And it's perfect. If I did this with Cuckoo, she would hit me over the head with a battering ram or something. Yeah, this is doxing. It's out and out stalking. This woman is a lunatic. And if people ever can prove it's who I think it is, this woman's in deep shit. She's heading into dangerous territory. Because there is technology out there to track this person down. And it's all public records. But you're still, see, she says, well, it's public records. You are still stalking. You know, you are obsessed with these people. I mean, we're talking about two people here. And this has been going on since at least 2009. And you have never met either of these individuals. You are stalking complete strangers. And you're stalking Jeremiah, who's been trying to live his own life and not have some crazy troll going after him. I mean, why can't you leave people alone? I don't get it. This is the kind of people that are drawn to Timmy. These mentally deranged people that spend every waking moment going after him. Oh, I'm not sweating. I think it's funny that all the center of this old woman's life are two people that she's never met and probably never will meet. I don't get it. She says, look at those stupid underwear. She keeps posting pictures of underwear. Why? Why does she do that? I mean, underwear is underwear. Why don't you post pictures of your underwear since you're having such a thrill about it? Let's see your underwear. This, you know, she posts pictures of a guy's underwear. I challenged her. I said, well, if you're going to post somebody's underwear, post your underwear with you in it. Yeah, I know it's because I acknowledge her, but I try. I've ignored her. I've banned her, and she comes right back. I can't get rid of her. But it's to point. The reason I do this, John, is to point out the crazy people that are drawn to Tim. We got a woman that licks her cell phone, and the screen of a cell phone is probably the dirtiest thing you can be around. Yeah, she's still obsessed with the underwear. Probably because it's in a private residence. You know, and geez, yeah, she licked the phone. She was making love to a picture of Tim Holmseth on her phone, and she said it in public. It's no secret. Yeah, and you don't see this woman talking about that. She's talking about a man's underwear. She's running around searching out personal websites. Why would anyone with manners or decency be stalking a stranger's social media page? Answer that one, Saluda. I guess that's how you pronounce that. And it's the same person every day. This is 14 years ago. They say phones are the dirtiest things around. They're dirtier than a toilet. Now, what do we got? All right, thank you. Oh, I'm being devoured by a dog. Yeah. All right. Gotta let the star in here. She's gotta come in and say hi. Yeah, I know. I'll be off the air soon. I'm just All right, have a dog. Bye bye. Uh, this person says that uh, I guess if she were to hook up with Timmy, all that Timmy could wear are briefs or boxers. Why would anyone with manners or decency walk around in their underwear in front of others? Do you think it's okay for him to walk around in his underwear in front of his friends? Uh, the answer is that. So what? To question number one. Number two, you apparently have never been in a college dorm that are segregated. Men walk around in their underwear all the time in college dorms. This was back when this individual was in college. So freaking what? So I've answered your questions. Now my question for you is, if you are so damn obsessed with underwear, let's see your underwear. Let's see your social media. You seem to think it's okay to have all this public stuff out there. Let's see your social media. Quit hiding in the dark. Put your morals where your text is. Expose yourself. Put yourself out there in your underwear. Answer the question. Come on there, Salia Weeder, or whatever you're calling yourself now. Oh my God. Yeah, she's an 8-year-old pup. She's got eternal youth. Um, but, you know, but the reason I put up with this individual is because she shows the kind of perverts that Tim Holmseth likes. That this is the kind of person that is drawn to Tim Holmseth. Now, this woman is too much of a coward. She will never come forward. She's going to keep using these fake names until she drinks herself to death. Because I figure she's probably drunk. This is 11 o'clock on a Sunday night in my time zone, which she is in. And so, there you are. Let me see something because I have a feeling. Because, I don't know why I don't do it this way. Save me having to hold on to the phone. Because I get notified over the. I think she deleted the account again. Nope, there she is. Why is this not coming up on? Huh. Alan. Yeah, da 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 da. Man, this is a huge surprise. I wonder what's going on here. You say it is normal for guys to walk around in underwear. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but if you're in a private area, like your home, and other guys don't care, so what? Why are you so concerned about people walking around in underwear? It shows they have no modesty. Well, so what? Jesus Christ. It's funny what people prioritize. 11 o'clock at night, this woman's talking about people running around in their underwear. Wow. Most important topic on the internet today is people walking around in their underwear. I think if she ever saw an old Sears catalog, she'd probably faint dead. Or keep her off Amazon. Jesus Christ. You go over to Amazon and you type in men's underwear. Oh my God, this woman would have a fit. Oh man, she's still at it. She's typing. Clackety, clackety, clack. Just be clear. Mert says it is normal for guys to walk around in their underwear in front of others and do not have any modesty. Close. I said, if you are in a private area, like a house, and it's okay with the people that are in that house with you, so what? I mean, why is this so important to you? That's the question you need to answer. Why is it so important for you to worry about what other people do? Why is it any of your business? What is this obsession you have with why people walk around in their underwear? Change the subject. Do you support cougar women? So what? I mean, if a cougar woman wants to be a cougar woman, why not? Important point there, individual. Randy is older than Timmy. That makes her a cougar. There you go. But the equipment, as long as the equipment works, have at it. What's this obsession with age? I mean, there's been movies made about this. I mean, you pick up the weirdest things to talk about. And the age difference, see, you're talking about an age difference here that wasn't that much. I think there's maybe 20 years age difference. But again, so what? This is just someone that is obsessed with other people's business. Apparently, this individual has nothing to do in her life, and this is her uh, obsession. The most important thing in her life is to worry about if people are walking around in their underwear in a private area, people are having affairs, and there's a May June relationship going on. That cougars are going around having at it. You usually a cougar is a woman that's gone through menopause, so the guy doesn't have to worry about knocking the woman up because no more eggs in the fry pan. So, hell, if you don't have to worry about paying child support, cougar's about the best person in the world to have. If my son was alive, would you want a cougar after him? Well, when my son died, he was 25 years old. I think if he wanted to date a 50-year-old woman, that's up to him. None of my business. I mean, the equipment's the same. And again, if he's dating somebody beyond menopause, he ain't going to get her knocked up. He'd be able to refine his technique. I mean, why should you care about a cougar? This is, are you a priest or something? Are you the morality police? That's one of the biggest things they got in this problems they have in this country are people sticking their business into where it doesn't belong. We got an idiot governor that's running around making laws against uh, people because of their sexual preferences. It's none of his damn business. He should be worrying about lowering homeowners insurance and stuff like that. Yeah, I lost. He passed away from diabetes. Had a quadruple heart. He had a heart attack while on his way to surgery. Uh, had just graduated college. Had all kinds of job interviews, and he had a heart attack. Yeah, I probably did. But hell, yeah, the American Gigolo was having a fun old time. I mean, it's none of my business and none of yours. Uh, yeah, and I really appreciate this woman talking about my deceased son. But again, this is Levi Page, Kim Picasio, and somebody Picasio knew 14 years ago. That's what this woman is about. You know, I'm sure her son walks around in their house in his underwear, and she would never admit it. It's this woman is deranged. You know, Again, this had to do 14 years ago. Kim Picasio told Tim Holmseth to go fly a kite, and ever since then, this individual has been stalking Kim Picasio and Levi Page. Hmm. Cat got your tongue? I guess we're never going to see you in your underwear. Why are they targeting kids with all that weird trans nonsense? Oh, we got a homophobe. Change the subject. I don't know. Go have that debate with somebody else. I don't care. And they're not being targeted. This is just people sticking their fingers into where it don't belong. And kids aren't in the trans agenda. They make up their own minds. Quit listening to bullshit. Oh, I love this. She has said this before. It is really evident that Levi Page is jealous of Timothy Holmes's look and professionalism. That is, we've had our laugh for the night, folks, with that one. I mean, that is funny. But again, here we are. It's Levi Page, Kim Picasio, and Jeremiah. It's John. I don't know if you've been following this. Well, he had a good life, and he was going downhill fast. He would have had to have quadruple bypass surgery because of the heart attack, and his kidneys were failing, so they were talking about kidney dialysis, and they were trying to get him a transplant so he could produce insulin. So he was suffering bad, and so at least he's not suffering anymore, and neither is his mother, because she died of the same thing. She had a massive heart attack due to complications from adult onset diabetes, and she blamed herself all her life because she felt that she gave John her diabetes, and that's why we never had a second child. She didn't want any more children after that because she didn't want to risk another child getting diabetes like John did. She didn't want to put another child through that. Yeah, but we all have our ups and downs in life. You just got to deal with it. You remember everybody. Well, okay. Yeah. This is the other celebrity. Well, this is good old Mittens. She's the queen of the castle. She's my therapy cat. She's a pain in the ass, but she's a good cat. Why you got your eyes closed? There you go. Open your eyes. You're not a kitten anymore. Bum, 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 bum. Wow. Wow. Yeah, she said hello, guys. That's cat for hello. Why does Levi have such a hatred of Timothy? Well, it's because Timothy is a pathological liar. Timothy has made false accusations against him, and he's also made false accusations against Tim Bacasio. That's why Levi hates Tim. I think that is rather obvious. Jeez. You might as well come in here with your fake name so everybody can see the bullshit that you're talking about. You never log into the chat. You just watch it in the blind. Oh, look at the boobs, man. I like them. Who's that? Usually Nancy Grace comes. You put up images of Nancy Grace with the boobs. Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate Tim Homeseth more than he realizes. But I got a little bit of soft porn that she sent me. Some woman that's wearing this weird laced thing to cover her nipples. Kind of like a little burlesque here. And she does this every once in a while. She'll send me these risque photographs. It says, guess who? And the last time she did this, it was Nancy Grace. And I didn't think Nancy Grace wore this stuff. Yeah, I agree, Janice. You just they're with you in spirit. Woo. Well, pretty good. You know, sorry, ladies, but a guy is a guy. This woo brings back the old days. Oh, she's typing again. I'm probably going to get chewed out for liking this picture, or maybe she'll tell me who it is. Why does Levi always defend Bacasio? Oh, the picture went away. Why not? Levi happens to be a friend of Bacasio, and he defends Bacasio for the same reason I do. Because she doesn't deserve to be hammered by you and Tim Homeseth and the criminals over on Telegram. Yeah, I'll probably have to do that. That was a picture. I mean, I don't know where she found that one. She must be over and maybe she's been looking through the women's apparel catalogs or something over on Amazon. What? It was pretty tame, but it was still, the woman was pretty well endowed. I mean, not bad, not bad at all, as they say. Let's see. My. All right, I'll have to check on that. May 23rd. Now that reminds me of South Pacific. Bloody Mary is a Carolina. That was funny. These people whine about men in drag. They ought to go watch South Pacific. Oh my goodness, somebody in a thong bikini. Holy. And the zebra style thong bikini. And you can see traces of long blonde hair. So I guess she's trying to get me excited or something. Because that ain't you, Solowita. I can guarantee that. But she does this every once in a while. She'll do this. She'll send naughty pictures. Kind of tame. Probably found it on the internet. Socks are being a pest. Okay. Well, this has been fun, folks, but got things to do. I got to call the state attorney's office in the morning and discuss Mr. Pendergrass. And so, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, and stand by, and I will let you know when the next thing is going to happen. Now, I am going to put up the third body cam, and it's one that I intended to put up before and didn't. And I'm going to leave it unedited because I'm going to edit it minimally, but there's a segment in there that's kind of funny. And you might get a kick out of it. So stay tuned for that. God, you got sharp claws. I don't believe in declawing cats, but this thing, sometimes ow. God, you can't pet the cat. She'll bite you. Cats are moody. Oh, now we got another one. Let me see something here. Save the gallery. I'm going to save these to gallery, see if I can find out who these women are. I guess she's never heard of reverse image search. But yeah, the troll is still going after me over there. So anyway, I appreciate you guys coming in. I got halfway decent numbers for once. I think we hit a record there tonight. I was very surprised, but I do thank people for coming in. And we'll do this again sometime. So have a good one, folks. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. Don't work too hard for those that have a job. Night.